The following podcast is brought to you by the Ebb Tide Treatment Center. Many people wrestle with addiction. You don't have to. Reach out to the Ebb Tide Treatment Center, where they wish to empower each individual encountered with the support, hope, and tools required for long-term sobriety, priding themselves on providing the best possible treatment experience for you and your loved ones based on unique needs. They're committed to breaking the stigma that plagues those suffering with addiction and their families by educating and bringing awareness to the community. The Ebb Tide Treatment Center provides individual and group therapy, multiple recovery pathways for support, evidence-based clinical support, integrated aftercare social reintegration, personalized treatment planning, program addressing whole life health, and Vivitrol program, all available. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, reach out to them at EBBTidetC.com or call 844-430-4357. Hello once again, everybody. Thanks for listening to AIW's The Card is Going to Change. Before we get into this week's episode, as always, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors that help us bring the show to you for free each and every week. Firstly, thanks to Angelo's Pizza. They're feeding us here as they always do while we record, and they, of course, bring pizza to you at our live events at Mount Carmel. If you want to try more of their pizza or anything else on their menu, it's all delicious. Head to Angelo's on Madison Avenue in Lakewood, Ohio. And thanks to Smart Mark Video, they record all of our live events. And if you want to relive any of those or watch them for the first time, you can purchase that on DVD or digital download from smartmarkvideo.com. And additionally, head to powerbomb.tv, sign up using the code ABSOLUTE, and you will get a 20-day trial for free. And then stick around and just keep watching the shows that we put out there from the AIW archives. And as always, thanks to Jack Prince, who helps take care of all of our printing and graphic design needs. They can do all of that and more for you, whether it be banners, t-shirts, business cards, flyers, everything and anything. For all that they have to offer, head to jackprince.com.
JAKPrince.com.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
So that voice you heard, the voice was none other than the one-man militia, Matthew Justice. Also joined by owner of AIW, as always, John Thorne. And
maybe Josh Bishop.
I don't know if I want to even say that I'm here.
You don't want anything? We might be joined by Josh Bishop. Who knows? Maybe Bev Smith. My name is Steve Guy. I'm your moderator of sorts.
We gotta start off with the Ryback story.
This is the craziest train I've ever tried to keep on track. So here comes the Ryback story.
Steve, you see how much fun the after party can be.
As long as it's hosted at a neutral site.
Yeah. When you tell people ahead of time that the after party is going to be at their house, and they don't live in a bedroom that or a one-bedroom apartment that is friendship. The size of the general
when
room
Worldwide
that we're
Alex
in.
Kellar decides to not travel to Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Let's just all agree. When we do that recap episode, it's all Worldwide's fault.
Yes, let's just break it down. Sorry! If you didn't want to go see your great-great-uncle, nothing would have happened.
I'll never visit my family ever again.
Please don't.
Please don't do that.
I really like your brother, though, Worldwide. Mike. I like Mike Keller.
I saw him for one day.
Hey.
What?
This is your family now.
Yeah.
The fucking King of the Ring crew.
As Jim Ross, King of the Ring crew, my life is shit. It's a whole damn thing.
Hey, let's just touch back to week. Let's just touch back to week one. As Jim Ross would say, you have to choose between a real family life or a wrestling life. So, do you want to go to Minneapolis and hang out with your real family, or
It's
do you want to
Milwaukee.
hang out?
It's Milwaukee. It's Algonquin for the good land.
Milwaukee. Hey, I listen to you. Worldwide. Milwaukee. I got you, brother. So, Matt
Minnesota.
Justice, let me ask you about this. Craziest shit about Ryback.
Just sleeping on the floor. Rex Brody, Ryan Reeves, a.k.a. Ryback. his house, right? I'm just perusing around. You know, I'm just young.
What were you
20-something.
perusing through, dude?
The mail on the counter, to be exact, right?
Well, that's
so
weird.
Here we are, dude. There's a check. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. The check.
It's a federal offense.
No, it wasn't in the mailbox. It was on the counter of the house I was legally entering into.
All right. That's fair.
And here I am.
Allegedly.
This is interesting. An uncashed check. Right? I've seen
wide
this
open.
check before. You know, I've gotten paid a couple extra checks. I recognize this type font.
Yeah.
And here I am.
Times New
And here's a
Roman.
check, uncashed. Here we are, struggling artists.
Sincere.
This check is for like $25,000 of just
What?
pure royalties from Netches t-shirts.
Oh,
And this man,
Nexus?
so here we are, and there's a $25,000 uncashed check on this counter. Rex Brody, Ryan Reeves, Ryback.
At their house.
And
It's
this
not
is
to
just
them, both.
this is just
the one.
just an uncashed check for not even a paycheck. This is just royalties of every 3 months, whatever, for T-shirts of
Just
the
for Nexus.
of the Nexus. Who he was like a one. How many people were in the Nexus? 8?
8? I think
So
8,
let's
yeah.
just 8,
7?
$25,000
Yeah, but 8 at the start.
times 8. That's a lot of money for
Yeah,
a
that's true.
quarterly paycheck.
7, even if it's 7, that's a lot.
And this
yeah.
man had no care in the world to cash this paycheck. He just this paycheck was written weeks before.
To Skip Sheffield?
To skip
This is
Sheffield.
at the time,
well,
Skip
probably not to
Sheffield.
skip
Yep,
Sheffield,
yep.
but the character, yes.
So let's just say that like he had such disposable income as a member of the Nexus that he did not need to cash a $25,000 paycheck.
That's
like
nuts,
That's
dude.
like my entire year of life.
Yeah. And that was just a royalty check for 3 months.
You think this random girl here makes more than that?
No. Not in 3 months.
How much do you make a year?
No, 3 months.
In 3 months, Najia on Twitter, what do you make in 3 months?
What's your quarterly pay?
You could
Well, I co-own a business, so
plead the fifth.
So you're in the red.
Will you hire me?
sorry.
Damn, dude,
Josh
my mom wants
Bishop.
me to get a better job.
Begging for jobs.
He dropped out of high school.
His mom is his
High
advisor.
school, Steve. Shut the fuck up.
He quit his job at Whole Foods, bro. He's looking for better opportunity.
Earth Bear, bro. Earth Bear.
Whatever.
Earth Bear.
Same thing.
Could you imagine being 22, dreamed of your whole life being a pro wrestler, and just seeing an uncashed $25,000 chest?
And you guys are you guys same age?
So he's 7 years
Oh
older.
man, that's
than
7
me.
years older than you.
So
Wow,
if
that's a
I
good-
was 22 at the time, he was 29.
yeah.
This man just had a $25,000 check. No care in the world to cash it.
And he needs it. That's a big difference at that point. To be honest with you, like in terms of life, you
that's
know what
a
I mean?
man's salary
There's a
in
huge
Cleveland,
difference
Ohio.
between 22 and 29.
This
at
man's
that point.
salary. in Cleveland,
That
Ohio.
is the owner of AIW's salary
Yeah.
in 2018.
Agreed.
Maybe.
Allegedly.
Yeah, I mean, give or take.
Give or take.
Give or take.
More nights like tonight.
But that's
House is up tonight, brother.
yeah.
House is up tonight, dude.
Everybody remember to yell at me tomorrow because I fucking bought a $60 bottle of Tito's. at the bar.
$60 bottle of the regular AIW after party spot of the Funhouse, located at the corner of
They
Franklin
had
and
music tonight.
117th and Lakewood,
Music tonight.
was closed for.
No, they were
AIW.
open.
Well, for closed for
They-
AIW.
yeah, they had a
No, they would
booking.
have.
They
They
had
would
a
have allowed
booking.
us.
They were
in.
booked,
They wanted us in there.
and
They had a
we had
previous
to find
booking.
alternate means of after party entertainment.
We did.
We,
We found that. We should not have gone to Mahalls.
I think that the
We're not allowed to Mahalls anymore because somebody tried to steal a bicycle.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, someone tried to allegedly steal a bicycle.
AIW is basically the last territory.
Yeah, so AIW is the
So
last
anyway.
of the real Cowboys. Dude.
All right, so that's the Ryback story.
No,
let's
let's
get
just
in this.
get that out
listen,
of the way, man.
Tonight at
I appreciate
AIW,
it.
for the first time ever in AIW, we had Juice Robinson, and it turns out you have a Juice Robinson story.
He doesn't.
I mean,
You literally made me put in the bullet points.
No, they're just friends.
I mean, we
You're
know,
friends.
Like at the tryout that I got signed at to the WWE,
Okay.
the people that got signed from that tryout
was a part of
were
that.
Juice Robinson,
Yeah.
Emma, who is
She'll be here
formerly
February
known as
23rd.
Emma, Tennille Dashwood,
February 23rd, everybody.
the one and only Matthew Justice, Big Cass.
Are you going to be on that show too?
Correct.
That was the
Former
booker.
FCW tryouts.
I was signed, dude. I wrestled Alberto.
Former
Del Rio at
FCW
Hall, dude.
signed people.
I wrestled in front of like 20,000 people, dude. Come on, man. No one knows that, but it happened.
Where?
20,000, dude.
Where?
At the fucking Mellon Arena in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I wrestled Alberto Del Rio.
Oh, for like a dark?
Yeah, but like with fans, like it was sold out, dude. not like wrestlers say like, yeah, you know, I had a dark match at Raw, and it was like empty arena, agents watching. No, I wrestled Alberto Del Rio. Like I put him over.
All right, so two people.
Way to put the kid over, bro.
Yeah, it was cool.
You put over ADR, huh?
Yeah, he was Joseph Harris Jr. at the time, though.
I don't know what's gonna happen in your career after these podcasts.
Yeah. You let us know what you want to edit.
I don't know.
So
man. I mean, it's not the worst thing going on in any wrestling.
So listen,
right now,
February 23rd, two people formally signed to WWE.
Emma,
FKA Emma, Tennille Dashwood.
Tennille, as I have her saved in my phone.
Yeah, and Matthew Justice. They'll both be there. But
I told John Thorne today, actually, I said, dude, you're really taking me down a memory lane. I said, this month, you know, it's Juice, and next month it's Emma. Because, like I said...
But do you have fond memories of both of them?
Absolutely. I mean, dude, we got signed to the same tryout. It was me, Emma, Juice, Big Cass. He's 7 foot tall. You can't teach that.
Can't teach that.
And Vader... AIW
you know what else you can't
alumni,
teach?
his
The
son,
one-man militia.
Jesse Carter.
Yeah, not Vader.
Vader's
Vader's
son?
son. Yeah, Vader's son,
Apostrophe.
Jesse White.
Oh, his son. Okay.
So we were all at the same trial, and we got signed. We were the 5 people that got signed from that trial. So,
And where are they now? Big Cass injured, but
They're all pretty much in the AIW, I think, at this point.
yeah, they're all about to be in the AIW.
kind of ahead of the curve. Actually,
John Thorne, will you
about
sign
it.
Vader Jr.?
Yeah, man. You know,
was
Vader
married-
Jr. Yes.
Well,
he's got some connects with
I
Sterling.
mean, he was married to JoJo, but then I think Bray Wyatt swooped in on his
Allegedly.
girl, dude.
Biggins, fun fact, Biggins' #1 gal in the
Yeah.
wrestling
JoJo?
biz,
Yeah.
JoJo.
JoJo. Yeah.
JoJo Offerman?
Oh yeah. Josie Offerman. True story. Oh yeah.
Factorian over here, dude.
From the very beginning, Biggins was.
Okay, that's
Oh
cool.
yeah.
That's fun fact.
Right?
for
You'd
you.
always
Like-
text Steen and be like, hey, man,
Yeah.
tell JoJo I love her.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. That's
Because
dirt, you know.
everybody went to NXT Cleveland. And
the first ever one at
Right,
at
the first
Agora,
ever-
which
correct.
that was when Enzo and Cass were in the
Not
balcony
Steve, not
with
everybody
Thorne and
with
Biggins.
them, with Thorne and Biggins, and I was there with a former podcast partner, but
They knew that we.
they
They knew we could do
Well,
the
because-
spot, you know.
the man currently known as Kevin Owens goes up into the corner and he's like, gives a whole thing to Thorne and Biggins. It was like in that corner.
Shout out to Kevin Owens for being a true fucking G and still like texting me about all the
Yeah.
fucking things happening in the AIW on a weekly basis.
But the guy who opens that show is the man.
if I was fucking like in WrestleMania headbutting Vince McMahon, I don't think I would care about
That's
AIW
true.
that
That's
much.
true.
Nah, that's true.
The guy opening the NXT show at the Agora is FKA SJK.
No, he's not allowed to be talked about on my podcast.
I'm just saying he was there, but then he opens it up, and then Josie, he was the commentator. Yeah. So then Josie
yucked it
Offerman,
up, dude.
JoJo, as she is known now, comes out and does his thing, and then a week later you're talking
And
to
then Biggins
Biggins.
just goes,
He's
"Oh."
like, "Oh my God, did you see JoJo?" I'm like, yeah, dude. we
Biggins
saw
like,
it."
how much can I buy her socks for?
Dude, going nuts.
Matthew Justice.
Yeah.
Let's get to the heart of the matter.
Sorry,
You want to talk about
Let's
the
get to-
challenge on MTV?
No, let's
no,
get
he's not there yet.
Let's get to the heart of the matter. Like I feel like you know the older we've gotten, I feel like we're basically like best wrestling friends at this point.
We are actually.
Well, let me ask.
We
this.
get like real
Oh, go
deep.
ahead.
It's you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What?
It's
because
weird.
Of that,
Do you think it's weird? Because I kind of think it's weird. You know, like
Answer that first.
Like, hold on, let me get a drink of Tito's out of it.
it's kind of you know what I mean. It's
The Tito's and Sprite out of the.
you know because like you know we had these waves. You know what I mean? We had these waves of like you were a teenager and then. As we discovered last week, you're mad that you only got $20 to go through a barbed wire board, and then
Super clutch to a barbed wire board. Like,
Yeah, it's not just that he went through.
glass all over the ring. Dude.
brother, I gotta fucking curb stomp through light tubes, and I'm gonna
But,
get
like,
shit.
It was just the handling of it. When I say, "Hey Chandler, man, like, I need more than $20," and he's like, "Nah, man, like, Greg Irons and Hobo Joe are making $20. Like, you ain't worth more than they are. That's fucked up, man.
Even Stevens, brother.
Shia LaBeouf. Shout out Shia LaBeouf.
But like, I feel like now that we've come full circle, that like we really probably were meant to be tag team partners.
No,
for
we
some-
truly were.
Because
You
like,
guys were tag team
we're-
champions.
No, but like I feel like
2 times.
I'm gonna get a little fucking emotional or whatever. I feel like we are really like
That doesn't happen.
no, I feel like we're really
Seriously.
like, you know, like there's like a real true connection like a tag team should have, even though we're like not tag team anymore.
Until
But like,
there's another tag.
You guys are the
team.
tag team of the after party and the after
but like
party.
no, like there was a time, you know, there was a time where we were mad at Matthew
Let's
Justice.
just be honest. I was on the blacklist of AIW for
Yeah.
almost
When you say we, you mean you and Biggins?
For
Yeah.
almost a decade, I was on the blacklist of AIW. Right, Thorne?
yeah,
No
Yeah.
doubt.
no doubt.
No doubt.
Even though somehow in that time I was voted the 29th greatest superstar in AIW history on an official list on the AIWWrestling.com website.
There were only 28, so
no, there was 100, and I was 29.
I don't even remember this happening, dude.
No, that's legit. I remember thinking
who
like
created that? Did you
Aaron
cre-
Bauer. He
Oh.
curated
Oh,
that.
yeah. Right.
Aaron
And I
Bauer-
was
he
number
curated that, yeah.
29.
Aaron Bauer was trying to make some lists going.
And I was number 20. It was on the official AIW social media
He was
and
just trying to make- he was trying to make-
website.
It's
He's
probably
just
on
trying to make websites.
And
as a
I was number
journalist.
29.
I'm probably on the Tumblr, brother.
No,
But
Weird Body wants to know if you're mad.
I mean, I think
Go ahead.
number one
Weird
was
Body-
like
Were you mad about that ranking?
no out of 29 out of 100, and I was in the
Nah, yeah,
blacklist.
29 out of
That
100
was
is good.
like that was like, you know, Vince knows. But like he still put him in the Hall of Fame, right? Like he still acknowledges that he was awesome.
No, you're not gonna edit that. That's a great
Last in the
quote. That's a
territory,
great
brother.
quote.
Yeah, that's a great. Hey, so
we'll be putting the beep noises on that. one.
WWE already put some AIW footage on air, man. So we're good.
They didn't pay
Like,
me anything for it,
You
dude.
know
I couldn't
what I
believe it.
mean? It's fucking yeah.
Hey,
cease and
okay,
desist,
Let me
dude,
before.
you know?
Oh,
So wait. So the right there, 29. Of course, I was blackballed, and I was number 29 out of 100. I could have not even been on the list at all. So what's that say about it?
yeah, there's a. We're gonna go forward and then we're gonna go backward because there's a couple things that I want to get to that we had talked about, but at this point, then, as you mentioned that you're blackballed, and then you come back to AIW, and that had been.
Let's talk about that because we
7
talked about
years?
this tonight at the
Yeah,
bar.
that's
tonight. Tonight we got.
standing after party. Now that's class.
No, that's clear. Not Steve.
That is just tonight. That is just
Yeah,
tonight.
just
Not-
tonight.
It's the funhouse going forward.
Yeah,
but
typically the fun house.
you know, like Matt and I, you know, we've for the last, I would say, almost
a
year,
year. Yeah.
we've gotten really close again.
Yeah.
And tonight he actually, you know, he opened up a little bit to me, which meant a lot to me. And this is gonna sound lame or whatever, but you know, he said, "I'm sure people do this all the time, but I just want to say." Thank you, because this has been the funnest year in my entire wrestling career. And I said, actually, nobody fucking thanks me for anything ever, you know, because like wrestlers are too cool to do that. And I thought Matt and I were close 10 years ago.
10 years ago, yeah.
Over 10 years ago.
right.
We fell out, and now in the last year, we've like gotten. I feel like this is one of my best friends in wrestling at this point
Well,
again.
and that's what I'm saying.
And
too.
like he, you
Go
know,
ahead.
he took the chance to or whatever, like
come back?
people. No, not even that. We'll get to that, but
Okay.
just the today to say, hey,
Oh, okay.
you need to know that this has reinvented me as a person.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah, 2017 was the best year of my wrestling life, and like this is my 12th. It's 2018 now. This is my so 12 years. That's a long time. And 2017 was the best year, the most, not the best, because you know I got signed in 2011, so
Maybe
maybe
the
in
funniest?
theory, like money wise, that would be my best year. But like that was the most fun I've had in a very
Yeah.
long time wrestling.
And that's what I want to say too. It's like not only you're thinking John and you're taking this whole 2017.
I mean, honestly,
but
it started when Chandler was still alive. I
Yeah.
remember like, hey, we're thinking about putting you in the gauntlet for the gold. And I even remember you saying like Chandler's on the fence about it, but
that was the show he got sick. You know, like that was
that was it. And
the week before, that week
and he was alive. Like I was coming to training. Like I was coming when you.
Well, like let's talk about that. Like let's talk about that. Like
because we talked a point to just make yourself a part of everything, really. Like,
it's weird.
We talked about it tonight. Like, you showed up like a day one guy.
Yeah, I didn't, and it's weird because a lot of wrestlers they lose track of like. At the end of the day, wrestling doesn't mean much in the grand scheme of life. So, like, a lot of guys get ahead of themselves and they think like they're too good for someone. So for a guy who's at the time, so in 2001, it would have been 2016.
16,
yeah.
I came when you guys were still at Cal Corral before you moved into Old Squire.
Yeah, 2016.
So we're talking 16. So at that time, to 2 years, so 10 years in the business, a decade.
17. Early 2017.
No, it was 16.
About this time last year.
I came back
about this time,
in
2017.
Gauntlet for the Gold 2017,
which
but
was
I
March.
actually showed up at training about October or maybe September of 2016. So we're talking a decade of destruction in indie wrestling at the time, dude. And
Jonathan wants to get a drink. Continue.
Okay, so we're talking, a decade.
Yeah.
And how many guys come back after wrestling
but let's
for
talk
10
about,
years and show up to
let's talk
training?
about what coming back means. You showed up like a day one guy to Johnny Gargano's class.
Yeah, how many guys show up 10 years in the business?
Yeah, like we
have already been signed to WWE, like wrestled for Ring of Honor, had a trial.
You showed up like a day one
and
guy.
I just got in line, like behind Josh Bishop and Trey Lamar, like I'm day one trainee.
Let me do some rolls.
And just did rolls and put my head down and went to work.
Sure.
Like, you know what I mean? Like
you didn't overstep your bounds, and you just went and you went through the drills.
How long were you still training to wrestle at that point?
I mean, I never stopped wrestling though.
Okay.
I don't know if people know that.
That's what I want to get across to people.
In the majority, but like
it's not like you were like, hey, I'm taking.
I feel like this is like a message people need to understand because this is an important thing.
It's not that you were like, I'm taking multiple years off from wrestling. It's
no,
just,
I
you
never
weren't
stopped.
part of AIW.
I've never stopped wrestling.
Yeah,
dude.
you just weren't part of AIW.
I've wrestled thousands of matches. Like I had never stopped wrestling. That's the thing that I don't think a lot of people realize at the time. Like I never stopped, and. Yeah, I wasn't in the spotlight like an AIW was. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I came back and I said to myself, you gotta stop wallowing in the mediocrity, and I'm just gonna go back to AIW like a trainee. And I showed up. Did I even tell you before I came, or I don't remember. Like,
maybe
I don't know.
I think that John told me
I never
that you were
really-
maybe going.
yeah.
You were thinking about
I
it.
never really left.
It was the thought.
I would still be over in the corner at AIW because I had other ties. To
I think
the
maybe
promotion.
I feel like you talked to Biggins before you talked to me.
Yeah,
because I know I sent a
Biggins.
couple.
I don't know. I'm a little more rough around the edges sometimes. I don't know.
I think so. Like,
I've had a lot of concussions, so like my brain don't remember a lot. You know what I mean? So like, I know I had at least messaged somebody and said like, "Hey, when do you guys train? Is it all right if I show up?"
Yeah,
you know, like,
and
because I'd been around, and for years I'd be in the corner or I'd be, hey, how you doing, man?
Yeah,
whatever, So for me, I just decide it's weird. It's like that thing where you kind of decide like, this is it for me. Like I'm gonna give it one last go. So I'm like, I'm gonna go to AIW. I'm gonna train. I'm gonna get in the ring, and that's what I did. I got in line behind guys like Trevor and fucking JB and Sleeping Trey and Frankie Flynn back there with the beard. And did I act like I was special?
No.
I acted like I was.
You act like you just.
I listened to people like Dom, dude, who have been wrestling for a year and were training.
because it was Dom and Johnny was still kind of around at the time.
Johnny and Candice
Candice
were there.
Yeah,
they were not. That was when Johnny had already did the tag tournament, but he wasn't signed. So
yep.
I just got, and like the thing is that 10, 11 years ago, me and Johnny were training together in the basement at Turner's Hall at JT Lighting. So like I just got in line, did rolls, did drills like I was a trainee.
Yeah.
And like, you don't owe me anything, right, Thorne?
I don't think wrestling knows anybody anything.
I didn't even ask you for a booking. I just said, hey, can I train?
Yeah, you just said you were coming to train.
I literally said, like, I'm going to get back to WWE. And, like, at that time, I knew, because I know I went to a Evolve trial in October of 2016, and I think I came to you guys about September, because I wanted to get in the ring, like, a month before the trial in October.
Yeah, you wanted to.
And I knew William Regal was going to be there, so I knew that that's the way to go. And I knew that Regal's going to see, the veteran steals that I have. So I came and it wasn't like consistent. It's not like I was coming every day. Like when I first started training, where I'm coming 2-3 nights a week, every week. But I started coming back to AIW. I put my head down. And I've always said it's my motto in life, not just wrestling, feet on the ground. You know what I mean? You got to remember.
Who told you that, dude?
JT Lightning.
Let's go back to the text
When I-
messages.
when
Who's the next person that text messaged
So
after you got
it
signed?
wasn't a text, JT. It was just we had fallen out, man. Because the funny thing is,
You
my-
and JT or you
my
and John?
falling
had
out.
fallen
Well,
out?
if anyone who's been in wrestling
At this
for
time.
anyone who's been in wrestling for a long time knows that no matter what, you're always gonna have a falling out with your trainer. You're always gonna have.
My trainer came tonight and it was very awkward.
Yeah, you
Beef stew, Lou
Beef stew.
Marconi.
Oh yeah,
we
Lou,
talked about him here.
It was weird. to
Why-
see him tonight,
We
man.
don't have a
But
falling out.
Can,
Yeah,
why?
I didn't know how that
So,
was gonna go.
can
honestly.
Can you give an idea why would somebody have a falling out?
Well, the
because you
thing
say
about
that
wrestling
always is going to happen.
The thing that in wrestling is that you're always going to have a falling out with like your trainer, your original promotion. There, because it's. I would like to equate it to growing pains.
Is it?
I think
Let me-
growing
can I-
pains
oh.
with what was that dude that started in growing pains?
Alan
Mike Seaver,
Vick.
dude? Mike Seaver?
The dad.
Mike-
yeah, Mike
No,
Seaver.
the main guy.
Mike
Yeah.
Seaver is the kid.
Kurt Cameron.
Kirk Cameron. Yeah.
Yes, he was in the Shaggy Dog on the Disney Channel original
Yeah.
movie. Where's the Red Bull Tito's?
I
So-
don't know if you want that in Natty Light.
So
Okay.
I think anything growing pains. So the thing is, it's crazy. JT used to hate AIW. Like I don't know, is that news to the casual?
I don't think so.
It
At the
depended-
very beginning.
It depended on the era.
How long?
Yeah,
you-
yeah.
So if
At
you
the very
didn't
beginning,
know,
I
like
think we knew.
everyone,
It was like
covered
JT
that.
helped, JT hated, JT loved.
when AIW first started, it was a rival promotion to JT's.
but
Cleveland All Pro
not
Wrestling.
exactly. No, he was renting his ring and like.
It was weird.
But when it got cool, then he
I was
hated
a
it.
trainee of JT around AIW started in what 06, right? At Peabody.
05.
05. So that was right when I started training, and it was like a strict no compete policy. Like if you're gonna wrestle for AIW,
Well, when he got TV, he said you can't wrestle at AIW.
so then that was
Which
like
was
the end of
2 years
05,
later?
Like a year
beginning
later.
of
Year later,
2006.
06,
Yeah.
yeah.
So and that was right when like, cause I had came in 05 and I was like 15 or 16, and my mom would sleep in the parking lot and let me train. I was young.
Oh,
And
man,
it was
so you're
like, and
training
I
really
told,
young,
I
yeah.
told, it's funny. We're on the late night of Ray Road going to WWE. I told him, I said, you know, bro, the first time I ever stepped foot in a professional wrestling ring, it was you, Beef Stew Lou Marconi, Chris Coronis, and JT Lightning, and 15-year-old, 160-pound Matt Justice.
Yeah, because the Ray's got about 2 or 3 years on you.
Oh yeah, a couple
Age-wise.
years.
Yeah, yeah.
I was
yeah.
going to AIW.
Ray trained in 2000.
I was going to Cleveland All Pro shows in like 04 when I was in high school.
Yeah.
And he had like a mohawk and like people would chant like "You eat shit at it." You remember that?
Yeah,
It was,
well-
like Chandler and Pedro sitting in the corner, and I was
Ray Rowe trained at my where I trained. You know,
Yeah.
so like.
And when he talked about tonight, he was about 16, 17 when he
absolutely.
trained.
And
yeah,
like I was
yeah.
like right after him. So when I showed up, I'm like, here I am, like 15. So I trained for a couple months and then I disappeared for a while and I came back. You know, I was young. So
It's the ongoing story of Matthew Justice.
oh yeah.
he's a nomad.
He is.
Rover Wanderer, dude. I mean,
drifter.
call me what you will.
You are
I'm-
the original drifter.
I kind of am, dude. Me and him used to play a lot of. We used to hit the casino a lot together.
Can you play guitar?
I play the drums, man.
I know.
I am in the band. I play
I'm
the
more
drums.
on that later.
So, where refresh me, Steve. So, where I'm just talking about the Thorn and me, our dynamic of how we.
You're talking about how you would come to training.
Yeah.
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 And
You,
then-
when you come back, when you come
You did
back
that
to
Evolve
training,
tryout.
and
Yes.
Johnny
You,
Gargano is essentially the trainer, and this is the guy that you trained
yeah, we
with.
trained like no one else would show up, and it would be us running spots
Yeah,
together.
but now,
grinding it out.
now you've come back to you're like I
And
want to
I
get into
put my
wrestling
head down
again,
where-
and now
where
Johnny
other
is
guys
the
at my-
trainer.
where other guys at my level would not, they would never accept that.
Right.
And I just put my head down and went with it.
Yeah,
I mean,
because-
Josh, you were there.
Yeah,
How
because-
long have you been training at the time?
Like maybe a month or two because you did the Evolve tryout, and then we
Yeah, 'cause
moved.
That was I had actually came before the
Yeah,
event.
yeah.
Josh,
But
you've been
not
training.
before that.
Josh, you've been you're 2.5, 3 years in almost now.
Two,
No.
probably not even, dude. Like
I was like the Teddy Hart show is like my third day.
And I'm trying to
With
remember how
AIW.
long ago that was because
Yeah,
you're
you had
you're
never
20,
even wrestled a
You are
match
literally
when
you
I
are
showed
20
up.
years
I've just been
old right
training.
now.
it was like Cal Caro was the end of 2016,
Yeah.
and then he
You
like
got-
evolved with OSI, Old School
Because I remember
Iron.
we go to OSI.
But the weird
then
thing is that like even
you
though
would just show up before, so I would try
Yeah.
and get there an hour before anyone else, and then you would be there before me, and
The weird
I would
thing
just
is,
set the ropes up and go sit on my phone.
even
like
though I was on
everyone
the
else.
blacklist of AIW, like I would still be at AIW shows.
Yeah, just come in.
At the time, my girlfriend at the time was a wrestler, so I'd be at
Yeah.
AIW shows. She
No
would still
names.
look. Yeah, it's all right, man. We're cool, bro. Like we ain't in Missouri.
You're still friends.
So like, I mean, the thing is like, in like Biggins, me and Thorne probably talked less than me and Biggins did, which is actually
Yeah,
kind of
'cause
weird.
Biggins
'Cause
loves-
Biggins lives.
He secretly loves everybody.
No, he's a very great. He's a nice guy.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And
He's
the
a
weird thing
very
is
nice
that
guy.
Biggins lived about a town over from where I grew up.
Oh, right.
So
'Cause
whenever
he's
he
in-
would
yeah.
see me, even though I knew I'm on the blacklist, he would always say, "Hey, how's Streetsboro? How's Streetsboro doing? I always drive through there and I think of you." And I owned a gym. I owned a 24/7 gym in Streetsboro for 5 years. And he'd be like, "Oh, how's the old Borough Barbell doing?" And like, I know he's just fucking with me, but I know he meant it. Like he meant it in a
Like
real.
not in a
He wanted
dickhead
to
way.
make sure that you were
he
doing
meant it
okay.
in a real way.
Yeah,
Like,
he wanted to know that you were
like,
doing all right.
If you know someone since they're like 15, 16, just even
Absolutely.
before I was a wrestler, I'd sit in the crowd a couple seats down from him and Pedro DeLuca, who were nobody at the time. They
Right.
were fans, just like me.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
I mean, and he'd drive through Streetsboro, and he said, "Yeah, I always think about you when I drive through Streetsboro." And this is in the blacklist days. And like Thorne, I know, like we've already talked about it, we've already touched on it, but like even in the blacklist days, I said, "What's up to you?" I came.
Yeah,
I was
you
there.
said hello, yep.
If I saw you, I didn't go out of my way to say hi to you. I wasn't going to interrupt you. I know how it is as a wrestling promoter,
Oh, dude,
dude.
to be honest
But
with you, like I
it's-
remember just running an alternate podcast. Like we'd come in and you're just hanging out on the stage and you're just chilling.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh,
I never
Justice,
sat in
like,
the
I
locker
know who
room,
you
dude.
are.
I didn't go in the
Like-
locker
like,
room. I wasn't
yeah.
overstepping my
That's
bounds.
one thing I never do. If I was never booked on a show,
No, it's
I would
weird.
never go in a locker room.
Absolutely.
Let me say that. In
And, like,
terms
the
of
thing is,
respect,
like-
because I've seen
That's
guys-
like an old school weird respect thing.
yeah,
Like,
that's what I was gonna say.
That's
I-
JT Lighting. No,
I
through
know
and through,
guys
man.
now who are not booked or
Girlfriends.
anything,
People bring their
girlfriends, but they
girlfriends on the
just
show.
roll in.
Trainees or
I don't
And
go-
then here's Matt
I don't
Justice.
go in
girlfriend
anybody's
booked,
locker room.
Girlfriend booked or best friends booked, whatever. And Matt Justice just
Not like I haven't
sit
done
out in the
anything.
gym.
Not that I think
That's like that's just
no,
like
no,
a,
but that's what I'm saying. Like
that's
you
like
would
an
just,
old
you
school
just
thing.
sit in the gym. You're like, I'm going to stay in the gym the whole time. I'm not going down the. And I honestly I remember that you were never in the locker room.
I don't do that. Like
Just always
like,
on the
Even
outside.
if we got a ring around like Mega, I don't go in that locker room. That's not my locker room.
And I think that's
absolutely.
You know,
that's,
like that's just like a weird respect
that's a
thing
great
to
sign
have.
of respect. Yeah.
Like that's not my place. And like
Yeah.
I don't want to go in there, and I don't want to undermine or
I think
overmine.
that's
You know what I mean?
just an appreciative sign of people's.
It's just not my place. I can go.
Or
I got my own locker room I can go into.
That's
I don't need-
that's an old school
Right.
mentality that's lost in the business. I'm not saying like, oh, I'm gonna sit here and ramble about that. But
Yeah,
I'm
we
just,
totally get
just
into
we
it in a
were
different
brought
thing,
up. We were
but yeah.
brought up a different way.
Yeah.
and that's just the way I was raised.
Yeah.
in wrestling.
But I think good for
You know,
in that
I saw
context.
I saw my trainer tonight for the first time in 10 years, and I didn't know how I was going to
Beef
go.
Stew, we talked about him here.
because like we weren't always on the best of terms, you know.
yeah.
And
But like I said, it's a growing pains. Everyone falls out with their trainer at some point. Right?
you know, at first, like you know, because he trained me, he trained Ray, he trained Duke, and those are probably the only guys left. And Duke's like, you go see Lou, and I was like, no, I don't fucking. I'm not gonna go see him because you know he said some things that I didn't necessarily really, you know, that hurt me as a person at times when he was trying to use that to further his career based on who I was. You know what I mean? And you know, I was like, I was indifferent that he was there today, and he came up to me and he talked to me, and you know, it felt like a relief to have a moment with him and for him to come and you know what I mean, come to me and speak to me. But like it was, you know, I was like,
did he do that?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
But like I was a little I don't know.
Apprehensive?
I was a little indifferent about it. You know what I mean?
When he actually spoke to you, you mean?
No, just like when Duke was like, "Hey, you know, Lou's here."
You were
And
very
I-
apprehensive.
and I was like, you know what?
That's Pete for all the podcasts.
Yeah, Pete.
Hot Pete.
You know, so
Vegas
like,
Pete.
you know, it's just a
Pete at
weird
that
thing.
point.
Yeah, it's a payday Pete.
But you know,
Paychecks, Pete.
that's just one of those.
That's one of those
Did
things.
you know
Like
him for a year?
it's kind of touching that, you know, coming off. If you are a listener and you attended the Ray Rowe farewell show, Josh Prohibition talked about how him and Ray didn't speak for like 7 years.
Did
And
that
wrestling
hit you?
Well, it just that there's a lot of relationships.
I mean,
Like,
that's
me and John Thornton talked
that's
for
what I was
almost a
gonna say.
decade.
That- yeah.
It's probably the same 7 years.
So same with Lou Martoni. That's who you're speaking of, Lou Martoni,
Yeah.
Beef Stew Lou Martoni, who's like a Cleveland legend in essence, dude. He was the AIW champion. If I'm
He was.
former AIW champ. So I mean, like it's one of them weird things. And I said that it's a growing pain with your trainer, no matter what. Like you're always gonna fall out with your trainer because you grow outside of the bounds of what they're teaching you. You need.
I
to,
felt like, you know, like
you need to
honestly,
leave the nest at some point.
I felt, you know, like I always felt like, I felt very weird about him. You know what I mean? Like, since 2003, and like, we were up and we were down, and like there was a time where like, to further his career, he was saying like, "Oh, I didn't train him."
Well,
you know?
sometimes you have to.
Was
you're
it
forced
outside
to-
of wrestling
You're
stuff,
forced.
though?
No, it's both though.
No, it was
You're
all
forced.
okay.
You're forced.
It was
to
wrestling
choose-
stuff, but like it was like hurtful as a person,
Yeah,
like as who I am.
You're
Because like,
forced to choose sides. In
I know
wrestling
this
a lot
is-
of times,
and that's
unfortunately.
yeah, that's an
And
unfortunate.
I not only when you're a
unfortunate
wrestler, it
word.
kind of takes down to your personal life too. So not only are they attacking you like your credibility in your profession or your what you do, but it also pertains to who you are as a man or
right, and like I know this is like crazy to think about. You know what I mean? But like when I was like 18, 19, 20 years old, I was like fucking putting work in. And like I was always there, and I was always training, and I was always doing shit. And like there was a time where he was like, we had a falling out or like whatever, and like another local promotion was gonna book him, and I wasn't. So he's like, "Oh, I didn't train him." You know what I mean? He didn't.
Yeah.
And I was
he
like,
was just trying to cast you aside.
those
so
are
that
the
he could
most
get
impressionable
booked.
years.
Right.
That's like your dad telling
like-
you that you're not his son.
to me, like that
Yeah.
was very hurtful for me, because I fucking know I fucking put the work in, and
Sure.
like I know that I fucking overachieved, and as ridiculous as that sounds, I overachieved to whatever he taught me at.
Yeah.
So like, we had ups and downs and all and all arounds, and I haven't seen him in probably close to a decade, honestly. And when I went downstairs, it was like it was like seeing your like it was like seeing your like fucking I mean I don't know, but like
Yeah.
it probably like
broke your heart for the first time.
right, yeah, that was like like today, honestly, that was like a broken hearted thing, because
Well,
like
I'm not gonna lie to just throw
because
this
like
out here.
Duke was like, "Hey, you see Lucy?" I was like, "Fuck him, dude."
Yeah, I was there when he said that. Yeah.
And like,
That's weird though, because how many guys that are associated with Ray Rowe that are on the outs with you, personally, professionally?
They made it sound so bad.
No, that's wrestling though. So
Okay.
to show up at a show like that, where it's gonna be not weird, but
even Ray and John had rival promotions
exactly
at one
yeah.
point in time.
So for him to just show up, put his head down, walk into the locker room, shake a couple hands.
but you know what?
That's a
He's a man.
right
He's a
there
man.
to walk in
We're
there.
talking about Ray as a man.
He's
No,
not,
we're talking
he's
about
not
Lou.
living on
Oh,
just-
Lou to just
he's
walk
not,
in. Yeah,
he's
okay.
not living on old dramas
Yeah.
or beefs. He just walked
He's
in,
just-
and we're all there for the same purpose.
And you know what?
You're right. You're right.
I'm not gonna lie. He can't. Like, I didn't go up to him because I was still a little mad. You know what I mean?
Apprehensive in
Because
sense,
like
dude.
it was like there was a time where like I was like killing it, and then he abandoned us, and like up and down, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to fucking talk to him. And like we had talked. I don't know, probably 2007, 2008. Because there was a time where he said he didn't claim me as a student, and I said, like I kind of called him out on it. I was like, and we talked at that time, and we were good. And then I hadn't seen him since, and it was weird when I saw him. It was like seeing a ghost, and a lot like
that's how I felt because I thought he lived in North Carolina still.
that's what I said. And like when it was
yeah.
it was like seeing a ghost, and you know what? I was like, I'm not gonna go talk to him. And he came up, he talked to me, and it was like a weight lifted off my shoulders, kind of.
Woo! What's up, everybody? Alex Worldwide Keller here.
And you know what? I respect the heck out of at Thrift Store Jobber, Instagram, Etsy, eBay, etc. Because he's bringing to you fine people what you deserve. And that's this Sting t-shirt straight out of the late 80s. And he's, woo, so fucking excited. He's stoked. It's a black shirt, multicolored print. He's losing his mind. Use promo code worldwide. And by God, you can get this shirt 10% off. Instagram, Etsy, eBay, etc. Ah!
I'm going to throw this out here just to give credit to the evolution of John Thorne, if I can, and where things go. You know, everybody's talking about this, and it's here, and it's there, and we probably won't ever cover it on this podcast, and it's fine. John Thorne and
This
I...
podcast ever makes the light of day, dude.
Thorne and I, we were very close, and... Like, I consider this guy one of my brothers and one of my best friends. That's when. But you know what, Matt, Justice,
Speak down the truth.
you nailed it.
Fuck yeah.
But you nailed it. You nailed it. Like, that's the thing, and
What's up? Yeah, dude.
That's wrestling.
and that's where we're at. You know what I mean? Like, these guys walk in the locker room, and it's like, oh, we gotta blah blah blah. We gotta bury these hashes, blah blah blah. Where it's like Thorne and I, we spent so much time together. Maybe I'm grateful for it, and he won't ever admit that he's grateful for it. But we've spent so much. Yeah, exactly. We spent so much time together in the last, I don't know, 3+ years because
How long have you been in AIW, Steve? About 3 years now? This will be your third year. 18's your third year as far as I know.
Okay, so I have been, here's the thing. I was doing locker room interviews with a previous podcast. 3.5-ish years
You've been
ago.
around for about 3 years.
Yeah.
All right, man. So
And that's the thing. But the
cup
funny
of
thing
coffee, dude.
is, with that podcast, John and I became friends.
Yes, I think.
Right? Like, we became friends.
Yeah.
I think
For
it's
sure.
safe to say
Before doing anything.
we've all had our ebbs and flows. And
Yeah.
In this
And that's
biz
what I mean.
together.
But, like, this guy has evolved enough that, like, you know what I mean?
I'm a tumultuous figure.
2007, John Thorne would be pushing motherfuckers down hills and
2007,
and
John,
writing on message boards.
2007, John Thorne and I would have been at fisticuffs. You know what I mean?
no doubt,
But
dude.
like,
2007 John Thorne was
2017, and it really was 2017. John Thorne and I were like, I'm like, no, man, like this
No.
is, hey,
But
this is us.
That's also like
That's-
though. Like I said about Lou.
that's what I'm saying.
Just walking in, not creating a scene. And at the end of the day, like I think me and Thorne, we were at the concession stand, and we both
that's what
said
I'm
like,
getting.
you know, we're not best friends with Ray, but we have enough history with Ray. You know what I mean?
It's just history.
It's just,
Yeah.
and that's kind of wrestling. It's not friendship.
And that's what I said to Ray
It's
tonight.
kind of a brotherhood. It's your associates. Like the first time I ever stepped foot in a professional wrestling ring, it was Ray Rowe, Lou Marconi, which we've been talking about, a guy named Chris Coronis, who knows where the fuck he is, and
Someone's
the
got a
late
t-shirt.
great JT Lightning. So here I like, and it's just history. Like I was in Ray's wedding, his first ever wedding. I was the first ever day I ever stepped foot in a wrestling ring, and a 15-year-old young boy. I
It's
was
just like
Ray. Like,
who's around? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
it's
like
weird.
love them or hate them. These are the people that are
Like,
around.
There's
you know?
people that I went to school with
they
since
become an
second
important part
grade,
of your life.
and I don't talk to them. But since I was 15, I'm 29 now. So for 14 years, guys like Ray Rowe or Chandler Biggins or John Thorne have been part of my life.
Yeah.
Whether I admit it or not, like we've interacted
Yeah.
more than someone I went to school with, or you know what I mean.
in a bigger way.
And it's weird.
It's just
like-
impactful.
yeah, it's one of those things where you maybe we're not best friends, you know. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think he knows what my favorite color is.
What is your favorite color?
Blue.
Purple. So sorry,
close.
guys.
I'm wearing
Yeah.
purple, bro.
He's wearing
a purple hoodie.
I wore it for you.
But you know what I mean. Revelation 13, man.
He just forgot.
But no, you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
you're not. It's okay. So like wherever he is in this establishment, the Bev,
Bev
like,
Smith.
You're
Smith.
fortunate enough to make that one best friend through wrestling.
Right.
Bev
Yeah.
Smith for me.
Yeah.
And whoever
sure.
it may be, it's Chandler Bins for John Thorne. You know,
Yeah.
it was John Thorne for Steve Guy.
Yeah.
etc.
For sure.
So on and so on. But you have a lot of associates, and that's what when people reference like the brotherhood. I'm not saying that Ray Rose is my best friend, but
he's a part of
the
the
first
brotherhood that you
time I
remember.
ever stepped foot in a professional wrestling,
You have a
ring,
connection.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
just one of them things that you'll never forget.
And I even said that tonight. You know, I hugged him and I said,
That's the title of this podcast, probably the Brotherhood.
The Brotherhood?
You know what I mean?
and I hugged Ray Rhodes tonight and I said, I bet you never thought we'd be doing
Like
this.
there was a time when there was a unsaid promotion battling Firestone. I thought they were
There it is. There it is.
battling AIW that thought they were going to put them out of business. And if you would have asked someone at that time, 2009, Ray
Yeah.
Rowe would never step fucking foot in an AIW ring.
no.
And this is what happens, dude. 9 years later, 2018, Ray Rowe's having his farewell show at AIW.
It's like
And that's
there's wrestling people and there's not wrestling people.
Yep.
And the not wrestling people always fade away. And the wrestling people always fucking I don't want to say rise to the
Hey.
top, but are always fucking
What did you
at
and
the
the
level.
dude say about me on a podcast? Like Matthew Justice is the guy that you think's gonna burn out or fade away, but he's not doing both, right?
Yeah.
I'm there.
Yeah, you're always there.
And
You're
that's-
consistent.
Exactly. It's weird to quote Neil Young on an AIW podcast, but that's wrestling, dude. There's
Wrestling music always go together,
There's
dude.
certain interactions that are never gonna go away, and that's what professional wrestling provides.
And
you.
I love, I say this all the time, but I love that wrestling brings together this fucking ragtag.
Molly fucking crew.
I love
You
it.
got fucking John Batts. You
Look at
got
this
Trey Lamar.
climbing like a cat.
Worldwide coming
Trying to
in
not-
on all sorts of substances.
Evan weird body like laughing in the corner like a weird, fucking
body Evan Adams.
Dude,
like
wrestling's fucking awesome.
a weird fucking.
I don't even know that was it.
This is a in-depth part 2, dude. Like
This
you
is-
know.
I don't
Hey,
know.
is
Do we
Bev
need-
all right though?
Yeah, he's great.
Oh, okay.
I don't.
That's my number one thing in life.
Do we-
My number one.
He has a
fucking thing.
kid. I gotta make sure he fucking.
Do we need a part 3, or we cover everything we need to cover?
We got a lot more to talk about.
We have more.
He says we got more to talk.
Can we do one about just fucking
Matt-
the Cleveland wrestling scene?
Matt Justice says we have more to talk
Wait, hold
about.
on. Let's just be
Real
honest.
quick, right now, right here, right now.
All right.
Right here.
I need to know something. I've been away for a while.
Yep.
This is
Which is fine.
This is Alex Keller
Worldwide.
talking
Keller.
worldwide.
Worldwide.
Have we talked about Brother Justice? He went off to FCW,
Yep.
came back to
2011,
Cleveland,
Covered it.
2012.
and he had himself a little promotion going.
We're not gonna talk about that.
And
Yeah.
that promotion, I mean, do you want to like gloat over the loss of that promotion? Do you want to find out? Oh, is that part 3?
Do you want to talk more?
We're gonna get the secrets of these fucking paid sold shows.
Worldwide, dude. All right, man. Bring in the big dogs.
You want to talk about that? Or go
But
backwards?
Alita. Not about Alita on the
Wait.
third episode.
Way to make it awkward, dude.
Come back.
Laying it down.
Yep.
I want to know about why you got a better Vader than we did.
Hey, me and Vader had a connection.
Well,
Yeah, bro, it's a Fed connection.
Vader's trash.
Me and Vader did not have a connection.
Me and fucking what's his name, Leon White. We had a fucking,
Every time I hear about him having a real
he
fucking
used
bad
to
week on
text me,
Twitter,
like,
I enjoy
months
it.
after I booked him, like,
only
love doing business with you.
only
Love
one
doing
person
it.
at the AIW show that had a connection with Leon
real
White
glad he's
because
still
he looked
alive.
just like him.
Hey.
Worldwide, we were actually on like a pretty.
we were pretty fucking.
Hey, guess what?
Pod.
Hey, guess what? Vader didn't get on his flight because he said Greg Arndt stiffed him too hard.
You know what's
and
fucked
he
up,
just
man?
wanted to be a coach
Let's
at the
just be
school.
honest, dude.
Greg Irons.
Donald Trump became the president in
Well, there it is.
2016.
Uh-oh.
Inaugurated in January 2017. We're on a touchy snowflake subject.
Wait a minute.
But
Are you about to tell us?
you're not allowed to.
All right, we're gonna. This is the lead.
You know
off.
what? I think there's
We're
a
gonna fall into the
few.
next episode.
Whoa,
Are you about to tell us
whoa,
that
whoa,
not
whoa,
why
only
he
is
became
Sid,
There's a few members.
not only is Sid Donald Trump's fault, but also
Whoa.
Vader is Trump's fault?
There's a few members of the AIW roster that would not make it to shows if Donald Trump's travel ban was real.
Yeah.
So let's just all
So you're saying they're
say, let's just all say what we're thinking.
Hey, you guys
Sid fucking Udi is a fucking bullshitter.
You
dude.
guys are welcome.
liar.
You guys are welcome that
Sid's
Steve
a
Payne
liar.
made it to as many shows as he did. So we'll cover.
Donald Trump is afraid of tall, blonde, muscly men flying around. Fucking Sid did nothing wrong.
Hey, whoa.
Fucking Donald Trump is afraid of Sid Vicious. I said it right here, right now.
All right, give us a cutoff point so we can edit. So
Yeah,
go into
well,
episode
we're
3
just gonna
here.
edit all of these into one greatest.
No, we got 2 eps.
This is good, dude.
We got 2 eps, dude.
I'm fucking with his vibe.
This is like hey, Dave Meltzer is gonna.
And ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna do it for this
That's-
episode. Hey, join us next time.
Dave Meltzer's gentleman. And
That's
he's
the
pretty
M-
straight. He
that's
has
the-
multiple children.
None of that's making it in.
That's the
Stop.
the MM cut. Steve died. The cops are on my street. Silence. So listen.
Thank you. The cops always
Are
end up
not
on
on
my
your
street.
street, dude. It was AJ Gray and Alley Cat driving like a terrible woman in 2018, dude. It was actually still 2017 at that time. But listen.
Well, that's what happens
So,
when you ask a midget.
The weird thing about, like, this is real. This is worthy of editing into the podcast.
What?
John
I have a
Thorne.
question also. Wow.
Josh, shut up.
No.
Nobody cares about your questions.
So serious.
Hey.
This is podcast worthy.
According to you,
So-
Selma is a drug, not a thing that people walk across the bridge for, okay?
What?
Thank
All right,
you.
silence. So, okay. I listen to the AIW podcast. I enjoy it. It's interesting. And I
right.
think the main reason why I enjoy it is because most of the stories that are told on the AIW podcast is I actually had some kind of relevance of living them in real life. AIW Snowstorm episode. I was there, dude. I was on that show. I wrestled Hollow Wicked.
I was not, but I moderated it.
But exactly, my
Yeah.
time it's like a precursor to everybody in AIW besides a select few like
That's why I'm
Thorne,
of sorts.
Bacon's at the
I just want everybody to hear
no,
you.
no, but you know what I mean. Like
I want people
so
to hear you.
I listen. I'm an avid listener of the podcast.
We appreciate
I enjoy
that.
it. So it is because I like to live down the memory lane of things, and I feel like I've lived through so many of the experiences on the podcast.
Dude, you're about to tell us-
Tammy Sitch as the guest commissioner.
She's been hitting me up. She wants to come
yeah,
back.
there.
a lot of text
You
messages.
know, like Steve Carino as the AIW champion.
Are you,
right?
You're not about to tell us
How
to
does
bury
Steve
the hatchet
Carino
for
and
like the
Matthew Justice have
18th time
a
tonight, are
like
you?
A correlation together, right, dude? As
Yeah.
far as I know.
I think he's a big fan.
Yeah.
But no.
All right, get to where you're going. Get to where you're going.
It's great for me to
Because I gotta end this.
It's
but-
great for me to be on this podcast
But
because
don't
there's
tell
so
us-
much history in AIW. Like you think I've been in AIW since year 2. How many guys have been in AIW since year 2? So it's great for
Yeah,
me to go
you're-
down memory lane on the podcast
You're right.
sometimes
Yep.
and hear stories, and I'm like, "Fuck, dude, I remember
Even
that. Like,
yeah,
I lived
even,
that. Like,
even with the time off, like you
Mulberries in
probably
the
hit more
flats.
people. Yeah,
Oh,
you've
yeah.
hit enough generations of where it's been.
oh yeah,
for
like
sure.
there was a middle period where
Yeah,
I
yeah.
missed it as an in-ring performer, but I might have been there on the side.
Yeah.
So for me, it's interesting to actually be in the podcast now. You know, Eddie Kingston had a 2-part podcast.
Yeah.
Well,
in fairness,
that was like Orlando Eddie.
in
And-
fairness,
and
there was
this
a
is
midget.
like
There was a midget
Streetsboro.
choking at Cool Ranch
There was like
Doritos.
this is like
and
Streetsboro
Sid
Matt. I'm
Udy
gonna have
canceling.
7 episodes.
You weren't here while Sid Udy was canceling. You were not here while Sid Udy was canceling.
Josh
dude.
Bishop, close us down for part 2.
All right.
What are we
Close it out.
What were you getting at here, dude? You're
AI
good.
Wrestling's the
I
card
just-
is going to change. My name is Joshua Bishop. I was your moderator of sorts.
Oh,
On this
fuck
episode-
yourself. Go fuck
On this
yourself.
episode, I was joined by Steve Guy,
You're a real
Weird
moderator
by
of sorts.
Kevin Adams, Worldwide,
Alex
Thorne,
Keller.
Wes Barclay,
Wes Barkley was not in here.
the
The
Factician,
factician John Baptist.
John Battis,
He's not
and
Baptist.
Matthew Justice. I don't
All
know.
right, so
What the
ladies
fuck
and gentlemen,
else do you
thank
say?
you for listening to part 2 here with the one-man militia. His militia is so large, it might take us into a third part. And more on that later.
Depends.
But thank you to John Thorne, the AIW owner, Joshua Bishop hanging out, Weird Body Evan Adams, Alex Worldwide Keller. My name is Steve Guy, your moderator of sorts.
Mandatory of sorts.
And of course,
Entire episode.
and of course,
Let's talk about some old
Matt
favorite wrestling
Justice.
shit. I feel
Thanks,
like
everybody.
the
We'll
entire
talk to you next week.
We'll talk about